Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sometimes, like today, there are days when you record the video and for some reason the video is not processing, so I'm giving it one more try. Hopefully this one will go through. And in today's video, what I would like to present to you is a warning that Polish Foreign Ministry had issued to Polish citizens or any Poles who reside, live, travel to Russia or are currently in Russia, not to do it, leave right away and take it seriously. So we're gonna look into this warning. We also will look into Trump and new Polish president. We have the president-elect Karol Nawrocki, who recently won the presidential election in Poland. As you know, this is the candidate supported by Donald Trump. And I will play for you a video that summarizes the relationship between Trump and current Polish government. Is a pretty good video. I will of course point at few things, but I will present this to you as they were trying, nothing new, to overthrow the results of the presidential election in Poland. How many countries? Look in Romania, France, etc., etc. And I will also show you, that will be in that video, I will also show you the new ambassador from United States to Poland. His name is Thomas Rose. Never heard of him, but we will see who he is. But before I start this video, I want to do two things. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who donated on my PayPal account, because it means a lot to me and I so deeply appreciate it. So let me say thank you by names to Michael, another Michael, Hannah, Ernest, very cool name. And by the way, thank you so much, Ernest, for your generous donation. I really appreciate. Claire and Helene. Thank you guys so much. Now, the second thing I would like to do before we go into the news, I want to kind of close on the video yesterday about Obama and Big Mike. So let me just play this short clip for you from Instagram. It's a good ending of my yesterday's video. Why not?
We from Kenya.
Just keep paddling.
I'm coming for you, Barry. Even Big Mike can't save you.
Michael, hurry up and paddle.
On your own, bitch.
Michelle, how far are we from Kenya?
Just keep paddling.
I'm coming for you, Barry. Even Big Mike can't save you.
Michael, hurry up and paddle.
On your own, bitch.
So that's what's up, everyone. Now let's go to the warning that was issued a few days ago by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Poland. Let me read this article. I've been traveling, so I miss on that. How could I miss on that? But I take this warning a little bit differently than I normally would do. But let me read you and then I give you my commentary. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued an urgent statement. Avoid travel and leave this country if you can. They mean Russia. This country, they mean Russia. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs warns against travel to Russia. The reason is the war in Ukraine, the recognition of Polish as an unfriendly state, and the risk of detentions, searches, and lack of consular assistance. Here you see Polish Airlines LOT and the big warning here, don't travel. This means in Polish, don't travel. So, Foreign Ministry, leave Russia if you can. Help might not be available. On Tuesday, this Tuesday, the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who, by the way, many of you know, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland is Radosław Sikorski, who will be mentioned in the video that I will play for you after this article. They published a communique with an unequivocal appeal I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce this, with an appeal to citizens, unequivocal, yes, unequivocal appeal to citizens. Do not travel to Russia, the ministry warns. It also recommends that those currently residing in the territory of the Russian Federation leave the country by all available means, if their life or professional situation allows it. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs explains, the reason for new warning is the reduction of Poland's diplomatic staff in Russia. The Russian authorities withdrew the permission for the functioning of the Consulate General in St. Petersburg and Königsberg, that is Kaliningrad. The possibility of obtaining direct consular assistance is increasingly limited. The ministry warns, in some cases you might need to go to very distant consular posts, which means you will not have help provided if you're Polish citizen. The Minister of Foreign Affairs warns of a number of risks that might affect Polish citizens in Russia, and here are the risks. Arbitrary seizures and searches of phones, restrictions on travel, like this we have been for 3 years now, more than 3 years. The risk of military mobilization in the case of dual citizenship. Okay. The ministry reminds that Polish citizens who also have Russian citizenship are treated by Moscow only as Russian citizens. This might result in the inability to leave the country and become subject to military service. So they are trying to say that Russia will mobilize those people. Okay. But Poland won't, I don't know. Bans, calls, and finances. What do you need to remember? The Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs also draws attention to lack of direct air connections between Poland and Russia, nothing new again. Limited access to funds located in Poland, nothing new again. It is forbidden to photograph objects related to state security, for example, airports, police station, or offices, nothing new again. You might be held criminally responsible, or warns the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He also recommends that you always have your passport and migration card with you. So guys, why do I think this is different than any other warning that had been issued by this Minister of Foreign Affairs, or for example, the I think State Department in US issues warnings. I'm not sure. It was during Biden administration, presidency, Obama's third term, right? As they were warning American citizens to leave Russia. I think this one is a little different. I think they are cooking something, and I think something's gonna give because the steam is in this boiling pot. It's like either you turn off the gas or whatever you're cooking, it has to come out this way or the other. And I sound a little sarcastic, but I think this is the main reason, because this is what they are cooking, in my opinion. I don't know what's gonna happen, but something probably is gonna happen. So this sounds a little bit, in my opinion, more serious. However, there are people, if they want to travel, they will travel, and some people don't even know about it. Like, I didn't know about it. I just discovered it today, even though this was issued on Tuesday this week. So now, since I've mentioned the United States, now let's go into the new president of Poland and the current president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and Karol Nawrocki, president-elect of Poland, who, by the way, nothing new, everyone, they were still trying to overthrow the result of the presidential election in Poland, just like they did in Romania, just like they did in France, etc., etc. Nothing new, the same playbook. So let me play you a video that pretty well summarizes the reaction from Trump about this victory that Nawrocki had, and also what to expect with as far as relationship between US and Poland in the near future. And I will also point at few things in this video. So let me take you there. Let's take a look and let's take a listen.
Donald Trump appears to be keeping track of what is going on in Europe, and in this case specifically Poland, and the fears that Karol Nawrocki, the winner of Poland's presidential election last June, could be stopped from assuming office in the wake of multiple politicians within Poland's ruling coalition government toying with the idea of overturning the election results. Today, on Truth Social, Trump made this post. Such a great win in Poland by Karol Nawrocki. He will be a great president. He won because he sincerely loves the Polish people. This post functions as a signal that the White House is monitoring the situation in Poland as a way to ensure that Karol Nawrocki, a Trump ally, is not prevented by unlawful means from assuming office. It may even have been made in response to intelligence that hasn't been made public, which would have implied that plans to overturn the 2025 presidential election were being made. We are with the European Parliament's Budget Committee in Washington at the State Department. Everybody here has been asking since this morning whether we know what Donald Trump wrote. He wrote about Nawrocki that he will be a great president. Everyone here seems to know exactly what is happening in Poland. Donald Trump is very knowledgeable about Polish affairs, and I think that is very important for Poles. Trump also attached this video from the news agency TVP Republika of Karol Nawrocki's rally in Zabrze, attended by the then conservative candidate for president of Romania, George Simeon, in which the crowd chanted in honor of Donald Trump. The day before yesterday, during a Senate hearing,
we have business today.
Tom Rose, candidate for U.S. ambassador to Poland, recalled,
As you know, on August 6th, there'll be a new president inaugurated in Poland.
The potential future ambassador spoke about Polish-American relations.
The relationship between the United States and Poland is built on shared values, liberty, sovereignty, and the unbreakable bonds of faith, family, and freedom. From the Polish patriots who fought alongside our founding fathers, to the untold millions of Polish Americans who've enriched every aspect of American life, our alliance is forged in centuries of mutual respect. No American admires Poland's proud and heroic history more keenly than President Donald Trump.
The serious doubts that the American administration has about the intentions of Prime Minister Donald Tusk and his coalition government do not bode well for its future governing of Poland, a country whose people highly value close US-Polish relations. This is a warning to those in power in Poland not to even think about blocking the democratic process and preventing Karol Nawrocki from being sworn in. Donald Trump knows exactly well what these people are capable of. Donald Tusk and Donald Trump have been.
So guys, before I continue, let's just take a moment. Let's pause for a moment and let's look at this image. For some reason, I've missed that image. This is the real picture, right? This is not an AI. This is the real picture. You have our current new/old, because he was once in this position already, Prime Minister Donald Tusk. As some call him Herr Tusk, because, you know, German roots, etc. And he's doing this gesture. He's pointing like a pistol in Trump's back. How did I miss that? Historical moment, right? How crazy one must be to do this. For real. But let's continue with this video.
Been on bad terms for years at this point.
Trump kłamał codziennie po kilkanaście razy. Okazał się właściwie agentem rosyjskim, człowiekiem Putina, i to przez 4 lata było widać jak na dłoni.
Such slander cannot go unnoticed. Since Tusk's government is putting itself in the position of a German satellite, US-Polish relations have suffered. The current Prime Minister himself, as well as his Foreign Minister, have repeatedly insulted the Republican Party, Donald Trump himself, and people associated with the Republican Party. In this particular case, Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski, who was promoted to Deputy Prime Minister after yesterday's government reconstruction, has much to answer for. 11 years ago, in a recorded conversation with the former finance minister during Tusk's first term in office, he spoke about the Polish-American alliance in the following terms. You know that the Polish-American alliance is worthless. It is even harmful because it creates a false sense of security for Poland. Why? It's complete hogwash. We'll get into conflict with Russia and Germany, and we'll think everything is great because we did the Americans a favor. Suckers. Total suckers.
Actually, let me translate this in my way for you. Here you see Sergei Lavrov and Sikorski, probably like, I don't know, 11 years ago or something. So what he's saying here, he's saying this, Sikorski, 11 years ago. He says, complete bullshit. We will have a conflict with Russia, Germany, and we will think that everything is great because we did a blowjob to Americans. Losers, complete losers, or suckers, or, that's what he says about US. So let's continue, everyone, with this video, Polish politics.
Favor. Suckers. Total suckers. On top of that, Minister Radosław Sikorski was a supporter of the disastrous diplomatic reset policy towards Russia and has insulted Trump directly, although he has since deleted the posts. Trump, Putin's man in the White House. For proto-fascists like Trump or Kaczynski, elections or verdicts are only important when they go their way. In addition, there were posts suggesting that the Americans were behind the destruction of the Nord Stream gas pipeline, which was later.
So here you have the famous, or I should rather say infamous, post from Sikorski. Thank you, USA. This is after the Nord Stream pipeline. You remember that he deleted from X. I don't know if it was Twitter then, or it was X already, I forgot. Nevertheless, it's still in many, many archives, and people don't forget that. So this is the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland, as you know, I've mentioned many times. Let's continue with this video.
Later exploited by Russian propaganda. The anti-American statements and behavior of Radosław Sikorski and Donald Tusk did not come out of nowhere. He is destroying Polish-American relations because Mr. Donald Tusk is constantly working on behalf of Germany, and for Germany it is not convenient for Poland to have good relations with the United States because it will be more economically tied to the United States. Tusk, meanwhile, is loyal to Germany first and foremost. Members of Tusk's coalition have repeatedly hinted at pushing Americans out of Europe. Economic acceleration and pro-Europeanism, more pro-Europeanism than pro-Americanism, that is, building a vision of Poland based on closer cooperation with the European Union rather than transatlantic cooperation in this area. I think this is one of the key ideas. Pushing Americans out of Europe jeopardizes Polish national security. Because, as US Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem said at the CPAC Conservative Conference in Rzeszów, only cooperation with Donald Trump guarantees a strong and stable alliance defending NATO's eastern flank.
You will continue to have a U.S. presence here, a military presence, Fort Trump, that we can work together for the security of both of our nations. And you will have equipment that is American-made, that is high quality.
The words of the candidate for US ambassador to Poland also give pause for thought.
Poland is family, standing not merely at the crossroads of Europe and the guardian of NATO's eastern flank, she's leading Europe's growing resolve to confront aggression.
Neglecting Poland's alliance with the United States can only end tragically.
All right, everyone. So before I give you my commentary, first let's look into this new ambassador, United States to Poland. Just before we do this, I want to tell you, if you don't remember, well, you should not bother with all of this because it occupies your brain like it did mine. The last ambassador, United States ambassador to Poland, was the son of Zbigniew Brzeziński. His name was Mark Brzeziński, who is a brother of Mika Brzeziński. We will say Brzezińska in Poland. But him, Mark, and Mika were children of Zbigniew Brzeziński, and this tells you everything, doesn't it? So now let's look into this person that I know nothing about, and I know Wikipedia is not the most reliable source of information, but there are a few things, so, maybe this is okay to read it. Thomas Rose, born in 1962. He's an American businessman. Actually, I think he has a birthday on the same day as Obama. August 4th. Let me just look it up, guys. I'm sorry. This is just, I'm very curious. Obama's birthday. Let me just see. Obama's birthday. Obama's birthday. Yeah, August 4th. 61. Okay. So they share the same day, August 4th. American businessman, publisher, and political commentator. His CV now, he comes from Southern Indiana. He also lived in Indianapolis, where he formed a friendship with Mike Pence in the 1990s. Well, I don't know if that's a good thing, just saying. He studied history and diplomacy and graduated from Brandeis University and Columbia University. I'm sorry if I mispronounced this university, Brandeis. I'm not sure how to say it. In the 80s, he was a journalist for Japanese television. He wrote a film book, Big Miracle, about freeing whales from the Arctic ice. And from 1997 to 2005, he was the publisher and CEO of the Jerusalem Post. He lived in Israel for 10 years. One more thing here. In Donald Pence's first administration, he was a senior advisor and chief strategist to Vice President Mike Pence, and I really don't like Pence, being one of his closest aides, sorry if I say it wrong. Upon his return to the White House in 2025, Donald Trump nominated him as the United States ambassador in Warsaw. So he will be very much likely, I don't think he's sworn in yet, he will be the next ambassador, I believe. But my comments on this video about relationships between Poland and United States. I tell you honestly how I feel. I think now you have a main question here. Would you rather stay closer to the disaster of European Union, Ursula the Witch dictatorship, Ursula von der Leyen, I call her the witch, many of you know. And would you rather continue to sink down to hell with EU? Probably Poland will ultimately exit EU. That's how I feel. I don't know how long it will take. Or would you strengthen your relationship with the United States? So this is the question that many people have to answer themselves. I have my own answer, but maybe in the future I will share it with you. For now, I would like to take you to another article, and this is about Trump and also United States. As many of you know, homelessness, it's a huge, huge problem in United States. When I lived in California, especially in Santa Barbara, well, in LA as well, but my last stop in California was Santa Barbara. Homelessness was, it's really off the charts there. And it's not just that it's heartbreaking, but it's also very dangerous because those people are very often mentally not okay and they often use drugs. And it's not an easy situation. So let me read you this article, guys. This was from yesterday. Trump signs order making it easier to remove homeless people from streets. From July 25th. Oh no, this is from today, sorry. Washington President Trump on Thursday signed an executive order making it easier for cities and states to remove homeless people from the streets and get them treatment elsewhere. Before I continue, I'm just wondering how Newsom, Gavin Newsom, or Newsom, as Trump calls him, the governor of California, will deal with this issue, because of course there will be money designated for this. And do you think he's going to really take care of those homeless people there? I don't think so. The president's order asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to reverse judicial precedents and end consent decrees that limit state and local governments' ability to commit individuals on the street who are at risk to themselves or others, according to a White House fact sheet. It also commits federal funding to move people on the streets who are causing public disorder and that are suffering from serious mental illness or addiction to treatment centers, assisted outpatient treatment, or other facilities. Shifting homeless individuals into long-term institutional settings for humane treatment through the appropriate use of civil commitment will restore public order. The text of the order said, Surrendering our cities and citizens to disorder and fear is neither compassionate to the homeless nor other citizens. My administration will take a new approach, focus on protecting public safety. So here a little bit more, the executive order, the president also asks Bondi to work with the Department of Health and Human Services, the Department of Housing and Urban, I think that's how we say, Urban Development, and the Department of Transportation to prioritize federal grants, so money is coming, for states and cities that enforce prohibitions on open illicit drug use, urban camping, and loitering. The White House said the order was first reported by USA Today. So this is new. I really hope that those homeless people will find some help, decent shelter, and maybe some of them will come out of this situation. Because, you know, to be honest, guys, I very often think about it when I walk on the street and I look at people, because we never know those people's stories. A lot of those people had actually very good lives, but sometimes something happened and it really breaks someone's spirit and they end up where they end up. It's easy to judge, you know, most people are quick to judge, but life, you never know, you know, life is tough, and sometimes you might not expect those kind of events and those situations that happen to you. Not everyone has the mental strength to come out of it, you know. The financial strength is one aspect, but if you don't have the mental strength, you very often end up in situations like this, and then it's just spiraling down. So one more thing before I end this video, I want to read you this. This is a comment from the video that I posted a few days ago, and I received so many comments from you. I cannot find it, but I have it on my iPhone here. So let me read you this comment. This is in regards to the missing children again. I think it's an important one. That's why I decided to read it. If you haven't watched this video that I recorded, it's about human trafficking, and it was recorded, I think, 3 videos ago. So go back and check it out. The comment is from Kelly in Texas. I think that's the right name. I think so, yes. You need to dig into what's happening in Ukraine with the newborns being stolen for stem cells and organs. It goes all the way back until 1990. Thousands of bodies in dumpsters with no organs. Turns out it's why we have been running those labs and why the fighting is going on. Look up the UN reports by the thousands. This is horrific. Some of it I knew, but I didn't know to this extent what you just said here, which kind of really makes sense because that's what's going on, everyone. I will attach all the links down below in the description box. Thank you for this comment, by the way. Very difficult comment, but it's important to remember what's going on. What's the fight about in this spiritual war? Good versus evil, light against darkness, darkness against light. But at the end, God wins, and I know this. It's not easy road, but we have to continue. Otherwise, you know, we're gonna be fine. It's just not easy sometimes. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the thumbs up free of charge and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I so appreciate your comments and very much your donations, as well as if you join me on Patreon, you can become my supporter there, or on Locals, or member of this channel. And if you have Instagram, you can follow me there as well. All the links will be down below in the description box. Just click more and scroll down. Some of you still don't know where it is. And with this being said, everyone, lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you in another video. By the way, I will be reporting on something that I didn't report from Poland that took place last Sunday, but I was traveling, so I will catch up on that topic probably tomorrow and bring you more details about it. Thank you guys, and I see you in the next one.